I learned early that the call to order is not about being neat, but it's about being trusted. And this is important because a lot of times in our society, um, there is a push for efficiency, right? There is this push to get things done the politically correct way. But what about having integrity and allowing for people to trust you? Um, all right, this is Sarah Praise, and I am connecting with you because there are so many things that need to be called to order. But what I learned definitely comes from 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, right? And it reads, "But all things should be done decently and in order." I learned early that the call to order is not about being neat, but it's about being trusted. And this is important because a lot of times in our society, there is a push for efficiency, right? There is this push to get things done the politically correct way. But what about having integrity and allowing for people to trust you, because your actions are honorable, because you're honest, not because you're blunt, but you're honest. The way you operate is pure and is genuine. Working in the background, you often kind of see the messy part of business, the messy part of business structure, and the opportunity to fix, massage, mature areas. And it's just like in the body of Christ, it's the same way. But what I've learned in just the combination of both is that being neat isn't always being perfected. Ouch. Being neat isn't always about being perfected. Sometimes we know how to dash salt and pepper on things to make it taste good, so that it can just be digested. But is it good for you? So I started doing that for my salads because my daughter doesn't necessarily like salads, but it's good for her. So I started putting pepper and different seasonings inside of the salads just so that I can ensure that she digests it. But we oftentimes do that for our life. You know, we put a little bit of salt here, a little bit of pepper there, just so that whatever we desire to come and manifest, I'm going to use the word manifest, comes to light. But what about honor? And what about the way of the Lord? What about his way of doing things? What about allowing for your steps to be ordered? Doing things in decency and in order requires you to surrender your plan. It requires you to be subjected to another way and another perspective, a perspective that is perfected because it is already perfect, a perspective that is all-knowing, and ruler of all. Our flesh doesn't necessarily want to hear that. Our flesh doesn't necessarily want to be subjected to a designated way of doing things. But the call to order is something that all of us will be subject to. each one of us will be required at some point to stand before God and give quality to what we've done and what we've said, whether good, bad, or indifferent. There's so many areas that I could talk about, but I feel like this was enough. I'm in a mode where God is perfecting me, and it's not always good. It's not always easy, but it's the manner of stewardship, leadership, and more importantly, honor. My pastor today was talking about the goodness of God and just how good he is. He talked about how a lot of times we want, and I am so, this is me all the way, I want to see the glory of God manifested within my life. And so he kind of brought the question in, well, what about just the goodness of God? Isn't that the glory of God too? When I talk about making sure that we do things decency and in order, what about just honoring the goodness of God? What about just allowing for his faithfulness toward us to be enough? A lot of times we want what we want, and regardless of um, its measure, the responsibility, we want it. It's something to think about. What about that goodness of God? I'm going to be doing more like this. I will tell you, I oftentimes do audio discussions, and I never post them. But God is doing something different in me. He's He's moving me, and He's molding me. Allowing for me just to speak what I speak, of course, um, with integrity, of course, but allowing for what he's putting in me to just to come out and not hold it. So there'll be more like this, just raw and straightforward. And if you can take it, you can, and if you can, it's okay. It's time for a call to order. What is it that you're doing that is more so neat rather than requiring you to be trusted? Just a question.